Well, since the Autumn Statement 2015, it's been very much a trending topic on Property Tribes and across the landlord community as to whether you should buy in a limited company or continue to purchase as a sole trader. And to discuss this in more detail, I'm joined by Mark from Property Tribes Financial Services. And Mark, again, as we've been discussing in our other videos, it's just never a case of one size fits all to get the answer, is it?
No, definitely not. And I would, before I sort of say anything else, the most important thing for people at this moment in time is to get advice from a property tax expert before they really consider anything else. Because there is a lot of talk out there at the moment of people saying, right, you must now buy in a limited company name. Mm-hmm. That's the way forward, is buying in a limited company name. It could be that is the way forward for certain people, but it's not going to be right for everybody. And the big danger here, I think, is people using high street accountants, maybe people that they've had as their accountant for many years, mm-hmm. That have dealt with their normal accounts, their business accounts, but that perhaps don't have that property experience. It's absolutely essential to get somebody with property experience. Mm-hmm.
And we like RITA, Rental Income Tax Advisors, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yes,
that's
definitely.
An example of a specialist property tax advisor.
That is definitely the place to start, because things are moving, and the general consensus is that we will be moving towards more people purchasing in limited company names. Mm-hmm. The issue that there is at the moment is that not all lenders are moving with these times. There's still a lot of lenders that won't consider mm-hmm. lending in limited company names. So that's still an awful lot of people that we can't deal with who have just decided, look, at the moment we're going to wait and see what happens, so we won't lend in a limited company name. There are a lot less lenders, therefore, that will lend in limited company names. So they will be a lot more strict and stringent as to who they lend to.
Well, they've probably got they can kind of cherry pick.
They
now,
can,
can't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's probably the biggest problem at the moment. That they can decide who they deal with at the moment, because it's still a bit of a moving feast at this moment in time. But things will change. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more expensive, or potentially more expensive, to borrow in a limited company name than it is in a personal name. Mm-hmm. So you've got to weigh up the difference between, when the new tax rules come in, there is an issue that you could be losing some of the money you earn, or earning a lot less. But if you're borrowing in a limited company name, the actual additional costs of borrowing might get rid of those profits anyway. Mm. So it's no good sort of jumping from one to the other and saying, right, this is my position now, I must mm-hmm. do this. We're still some way off from that definitive change. Mm-hmm. I think it really makes sense for people to be looking at what their own unique situation is, and it really is a unique situation for everybody here, mm-hmm. more than anything else, because when it comes to tax, it's not just the tax that you're talking about that you're getting from property, mm-hmm. but it's the tax that your partner may be paying, mm-hmm. maybe the amount of income that they've got, the other work that you've got, so many different things that you need to bring into the pot. Mm-hmm. That for us to say, okay, you want to now borrow in a limited company name, we'll sort that out for you. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do that. We're really going to recommend to people that they speak to people like RITA and say, get this sorted first, find out what your situation is. Mm-hmm. Once your situation is completely understood, then we'll consider what's best for mm-hmm. you. Mm-hmm. And just as an addition to that, there are networking groups, there are gurus as such that are saying, do this in a limited company name, do mm-hmm. deeds of trust, do mm-hmm. this and do that, mm-hmm. until such time as that is set in stone that it can be done and mm-hmm. it's been approved and the HMRC say yes, we're happy with that. Please don't do anything like that. Mm-hmm. Get everything sorted first. Advice first, mm-hmm. jump second, not the other way around, mm-hmm. because it's reasonably difficult to unravel a buy-to-let mortgage. It is almost impossible to unravel a limited company. If you've moved everything and it's gone into a limited company, and then that's not the right thing for you.
Well, it could be disastrous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be catastrophic. So
Yeah.
get the advice, and before you speak to a broker, before you do anything about changing what you've got or what you intend to do, get that advice first.
No, I think that is very, very, very important points you've made there. Just speaking generally, do you feel that small landlords with one or two properties are, I know we can't say for sure because we've stated its individual circumstances, but do you feel that they are more likely to continue down the sole trader route for mortgages?
I think at the moment the general consensus seems to be that will be the case, that if you've just got one or two properties, you'll probably stay where you are, and it'll probably make more sense financially to stay where you are. I think the issue with that is that obviously things change, and criteria change, the lenders will change. I think we're in for an interesting few months in the next few months as to what happens. But I would certainly sort of reiterate that before you make any decision to do anything, have somebody who really does know what they're doing as far as property sort of ratify that decision and make it. Let them make the decision for you to a degree, rather than you saying, right, I've heard I need to do, and then do it. Because there will be some people that it will be right for, and it will make sense, and there will no doubt be schemes that will come along, and people will come up with structures. But remember, stamp duty, land tax, and some of the structures that came out then, and an awful lot of people got caught out.
Got stung.
Yeah, don't get involved in those sorts of schemes. They're called schemes for a reason, and those sorts of things concern me. So just take advice from a tax expert, nobody else, doesn't matter who, tax expert, property tax, listen to them.
Fantastic advice, Mark, and I know the forums are filled with people asking this same question, but our advice is always going to be speak to a tax advisor, specialist property tax advisor, about your individual situation. And as much as a fan as I am of forums and the advice they give, in this particular instance, we're going to say, please get specialist advice for your individual circumstances, and don't rely on what you read on the forums in this instance. So very good advice there from Mark. Thank you very much, and hope you have got some value from this video. And the next thing you're going to do is book an appointment with a tax expert. It's so important to get it right.